Welcome everybody to the drivers' press conference ahead of the FIA Formula One Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. We've got the two groups coming your way as per usual. Group 1, on your left, Alex Albon, Oliver Bearman and Gabriel Bortoleto. Now, Ollie, can we start with you? Because this race marks the anniversary of your Formula One debut with Ferrari. It's been a crazy ride for you since then. Just how do you reflect on the last 12 months?
Yeah, that was a crazy weekend 1 year ago, and I just hope that physically I'm a bit stronger than I was 12 months ago, because it was a really tough race. But of course, to come back 1 year on is a very special feeling, and you know, I always love driving this track. It's my third time here, and always had decent performances actually. And then, of course, to have my debut as well, it means I think this track will always be quite special to me. So really happy to be back.
Ollie, what is it about this track that ensures you do go as well as you do?
Well, I'm not speaking ahead of time, but in F2 it went pretty well for us. I think we had a really good car here. And, okay, F1 wasn't as good, but still, it was a debut which was amazing. And the track is really cool. It's really high grip, which is always fun for us as drivers. And the walls are close, which is always interesting. It's really high speed, high commitment track, and just a fun one to drive. I think it's a highlight for a lot of us during the season.
A lot of risk and reward.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, you've shown great consistency, 3 points finishes in the last 3 races. Just give us an overview of how you feel it's going this year for you.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with how it's going. Of course, the race in Bahrain was a mixed bag. Qualifying was very poor, but we got a bit of fortune in the race with the safety car to maximize and score a point, which was great. The other 2 races, you know, we really deserve to be up there and scored some good points. And we've had 2 races now with both cars in the points, which is really, really good. And yeah, of course, Australia was really difficult, but we turned it around pretty quickly and bought a small upgrade to the car, which allowed us to run it more in the window that we want to. And now we're able to extract a lot of performance out of it, which is nice.
A lot of performance. So what is possible this weekend?
Who knows? We came to Suzuka not expecting much because of the nature of the track. And we were in Q3 and scored points. Bahrain, I was not really sure what we could achieve because we hadn't done much low fuel there. But you know, without Esteban's problem, I think he could have been in Q3. And then again, it's the same. I'm still thinking of Australia a little bit in the back of my mind, but I know that we can have a good weekend. So let's see how it goes. Yeah, no predictions.
All right. Well, very good luck with that. Thank you, Ollie. Let's come to Alex now. Big picture stuff, first of all. Haas have snuck ahead of Williams in the Constructors' Championship. Just how do you see the lay of the land in the midfield at the moment?
Yeah, it was interesting. I don't think after Melbourne would have ever said that Haas were going to be in the mix, and then they came back very strongly. So it seems like they've obviously designed their car and focused on their race car quite a lot, and it seems to be paying off for them. I think in many ways, last week we got a little bit unlucky with the safety car. I think we were on for a good points finish. But that's it. It's so close now. And I think that as a team, we can reflect on the first 4 races that we've been very consistent. I think the gap to P1 has always been very similar. I think the other midfield teams are a little bit peakier, and they have they can score good points, but not every time. I think for us, we realistically should have had 4 points finishes in 4 races. So let's see. I think we just got to keep doing our job and hoping that we can just do everything a little bit better than everyone else.
Alex, how much personal satisfaction are you taking from this season? As you say, coulda, woulda, shoulda, but 4 points finishes in a row was possible. It feels very different to any of your previous seasons in Formula One. How much satisfaction does that give you?
Yeah, honestly, yes. It's been a really strong start to the season for us, and we felt good in the car. From the first lap, we drove in the shakedown at Silverstone. It's given us a good feeling. It's much more enjoyable to drive, and honestly, I'm just enjoying the racing out there. I feel like that midfield pack has become so tight. In Bahrain, in Q1, we just didn't get things optimal, and that's it, you're out straight away. So there's a lot of pressure on every lap that you do in the midfield right now, and that's exciting. And it feels like every race you go in not knowing where you're going to come out, and it's been the most enjoyable so far season of Formula 1 for me.
There's another variable this year. Pirelli have gone one step softer on the compounds, the tyre compounds. Do you expect that to cause any issues?
It will be interesting. I think that they are soft, and we've seen in the past that sometimes the very soft tyres are a little bit different, the way that they feel in high-speed corners. And this weekend is definitely a high-speed track. So it will be interesting to know how we can get the C5s working this weekend. I think, as it has been every year, every weekend so far, the tyres are very sensitive, and if you can get them in the right window, it's the difference maker. I think all the cars now in the midfield are so close together that if you're in that right window, that's Q3.
All right. Well, best of luck. Thank you very much, Alex and Gabriel. Let's come to you now. First of all, what are your predictions as to how it's going to feel to drive this racetrack? You're going to be going 14 seconds a lap faster than you were in F2, I think. What does it feel like on the sim, at least?
Well, it feels absolutely crazy fast. So, yeah, very different. Definitely very different approaches as well on driving technique comparing to F2. Probably one of the tracks that you're going to have the most difference on techniques on the way you drive comparing to Formula 2, especially in the first sector with the high speeds. So very interesting. I'm looking forward to trying it. And if there is something fun about this Formula 1 cars, is the high speed that we go. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
You come here on the back of a slightly difficult weekend in Bahrain. What were the take-home messages for you from the last race?
Well, I think, it was a tough weekend. Definitely in the race, I got a bit stuck behind Stroll at the last stint after the safety car and couldn't get past, even if I felt that I had more pace, just super difficult. But yeah, I mean, just another race weekend. It's the beginning of my season. There's a lot of things that we took as a learning from my side, from the team side as well. Yeah, now we try to apply everything in here.
Both you and Nico Hülkenberg have spoken about the difficulties of passing cars, even if you feel you have more pace. Why, or just describe what happens when you're driving in dirty air. How does the car feel?
Well, again, I've never driven any other Formula 1 car that is not a Sauber, in a race or anything. Definitely dirty air is for everyone. But we seem to struggle, quite a lot to overtake. And when we get too close to people, it just feels that you lose a lot of aerodynamics and everything, downforce. So it's just tough, because sometimes we feel that we have the pace. The pace is there, it's probably not to score points yet, but we are working on that. But sometimes, better at least than the guys we are around. And then as soon as we get close, just lose quite a lot of grip, and has been quite tough to overtake, to at least try a move, to be side by side at the end of the straight, or even at a position that you can dive bomb. But, last weekend was very tough because I was not even in that situation. So, yeah, just a shame, because I want to be fighting again for something. I want to be fighting for overtakes and for positions. And so far this year has been very tough to not being able to do that. Most of the times it's an undercut you do in the pit stop, or try to stay a bit long to try something different, but not really an overtake on track.
All right, well, look, best of luck this weekend. Let's now open this to the broadcasters. Who's going to go first, please? David, yeah.
Thanks, Tom. David Croft, Sky Sports F1. Afternoon, gentlemen. Question for Gabriel. Last in the championship, average starting position 17.3, I think it is, but you're a better driver than that, and your previous two seasons have proved it. How are you coping with having a season that is so different to your last couple of seasons, and what experience have you got to help you cope with differing positions on track to what you've been used to?
I hope in FP1 I'm like you in the end, in the question, like flat out. So, well, it's not easy. If I'm honest, it's not easy. You come from 2 championships. You are used to, being in this room, but actually after a race, because you win or you are in the podium, and now for us it's already a mega job if you are going to Q2 or fighting for Q3. But there is always going to be someone paying this price at the beginning. If you see George Russell at the beginning of his Formula 1 career, I don't think he scored a point in his first season in Formula 1 or something like this. And now, he's one of the best drivers in the grid and doing such a great job. And I wouldn't say fighting for the championship right now, but he's constantly in the podium or fighting for things. So it's all about having patience. There's nothing much I can do right now. Just learn, try to grow as a driver in these tough moments and do a better job every race weekend. And yeah, get better, because I'm not fighting for points right now. That's the realistic situation, not me, not Nico. Nico did a very good job in Australia when a messy race and managed to score points. But realistically, in the last 3-4 rounds, we have not been able to be there by pure pace. And what we need to do now is try to point the team in the right direction with the development of the car. Because we saw last year with Sauber as well, they were last through the whole year basically. And I think 1 upgrade or 2 upgrades they were back on fighting for Q3. So in this world, I've learned something, that everything can happen. So we cannot give up.
Okay, next one, please. Thanks.
Yeah. Mariana Becker from TV Band. Gabriel, you just explain how tough it is for you mentally to keep on wanting, and fighting even with the limitations of your car. Is there someone who gives you those tips? Because you haven't been in a situation like that before, and several, more experienced driver, they did. Is there someone who talked to you, or even if it's not a driver, someone who would tell you, you have to be patient or anything like this? And the second question is, do you have any difference on the car here that would give you hope to have better position or to have a better understanding of the car?
Well, answering your first question, I don't speak with anyone, outside of motorsport, just my family, and with some drivers I do speak, and some of them have been through what I'm going through right now. Tough seasons, not scoring points or struggling to do that. And yeah, you just need to have patience. But it's no news for me. It's not that I came to this season expecting to be fighting for podiums or points every race. I knew what I was going to go through, and I just needed to be strong and keep it up. And the team has been very clear with me since the beginning that was our situation, and we just fight for it. And I know it is not nice to be in the situation we are, but it is what it is. That's life, I think. So yeah, and answer your second one. No, not that I know. No difference. Just normal, and still we need to try to bring some good upgrades on the car, but not for this one.